That's kind of talk back with another match preview. It's for the fixture that was actually postponed at Christmas against Kings Lynn. It's at their place at Tuesday night at 7:45. I was gutted that the game was called off on Saturday, so I'm just really looking forward to watch Notts in the form that they're in, play some good football. So hopefully we get the win. It's a good chance to keep momentum going and keep that good play that we've been doing going. So yeah, let's look forward to this one and see what the players can give us.
There's some really quite interesting stats going into this midweek fixture away to Kings Lynn Town. Kings Lynn currently sit right near the foot of the table, 21st position. They played exactly the same amount of games as Notts, but they have 18 points, where Notts sitting 5th with 33 points. The goal difference is also very telling. Notts is plus 11, Kings Lynn minus 17. Really expect that I have two teams in these positions in the table. If we look further into the stats then, both clubs actually didn't play on Saturday. Both fixtures postponed. Notts obviously against Wrexham, which wasn't ideal coming after such a fantastic performance against Dagenham. You wanted the momentum to continue, and that's a word that Notts fans have said so much about. Momentum. We're trying to build it. Hopefully we can build it from now on if this season is to continue. Kings Lynn, if you look all the way back, they have 2 wins from 11 in all competitions, which is really poor. In that same time period, Notts have 8 wins from 11. Just goes to show the contrasting fortunes between both clubs, and it's absolutely huge and something that you'd think will go in Notts' favour. The away form table, Kings Lynn 9 games played at home, 9 points actually won. They are down second to bottom in the form table for home form, whereas away form, Notts actually sit in 14th place. Now, that's partly because of how few have played away from home, but also at the same time, it's a lack of goals scored and conceded, resulting in quite a few draws as well. So 6 scored and only 5 conceded. Moving on to players to watch, there's 3 players. So the first main player is Adam Marriott. He's a talisman for Kings Lynn. He has been for many seasons, a couple of seasons in the past with double figures, 28 last season, and he's made a step up decently. He's got 5 in 16 this season for them. A team near the bottom, that's not a bad return, scoring pretty much 1 in 3. He has, however, only scored 1 in his last 7. Whether he's just on that poor form or he's due a goal, we hope it's not the latter. Second player to watch out for is actually a player that I'm surprised Kings Lynn have managed to get hold of. It's Alex Kawamia. Now he's from the Chelsea Academy, decent player. Didn't quite make it at Doncaster Rovers, but he's been at that club, he's been in around League One, he's gained the experience. Went to Chesterfield and then he's joined from Chesterfield. Now he's at the stage now where he's dropped and he's got to prove himself. And actually I think he's going to be a player that's hungry and wants to prove, especially if, as we know, the season might not continue and you never know where things are going for players. They've got to play every single minute and they've got to play their hearts out and perform, and he's a player that's going to be dangerous for them, especially if they do try and play us on the break. And the final player is Jordan Richards, son of Pedro Richards, used to play for Notts, well over 300 appearances for the club. Very, very well-known player, very good player as well. A lot of Notts players will remember him very fondly. Jordan Richards never quite made it at Notts, but this season he's found his home at Kings Lynn. He's played 15 of the 18 games, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on against the Magpies.
On to team news for Notts now then. The 2 regulars, we've got Damien McCrory and Cal Roberts, who are still out injured, and we've got Sam Slocum, who is serving a 3-match ban for the red card that he picked up against Dagenham. He's obviously still got 3 games to serve because Saturday's game against Wrexham was postponed due to the frozen pitch, unfortunately. On to the starting 11 for Notts then. Going to go Pilling in goal. I think he in the games he has played, he's done some great saves. Obviously his distribution's not been fantastic, but it's only going to get better the more he plays. So I'm excited to actually see him play because I am quite like watching goalkeepers now. They can develop off the bench and stuff like that. So it'll be good to see how he gets on. So right back, Dion Kelly-Evans, say no more. 2 centre-backs, I think Lacey and Rawlinson. Both, they've been great. I don't really think you could ask for much more from either, especially Rawlinson. He's a real warrior of a player. And left back, gone for Barnett. I said it in the Wrexham preview, he slotted straight into the squad, and for such a young player to slot into the squad like that, and he showed confidence as well, because he had a couple of shots in the games that he did play. So it shows that he's a player that's high in confidence, and it's not going to take him time to come out of his shell. He's going to slot straight in and do a job. Obviously gone for the 4-2-3-1 again. So sitting in front of the back 4, Doyle and Reeves. You can't really say much more. Reeves, absolute engine, as is Doyle. And Doyle will do anything you asked him to, as we've seen against Dagenham and Redbridge, when he went in goal for up to, it was just over 70 minutes. and unfortunately he didn't quite get the clean sheet, but he was only a couple of minutes away from doing so. So, you know, called upon, he'd do anything. Doyle and Reeves, absolute engine. He's a fantastic player. Right then, the three attacking midfielders, if you will, gone for Jimmy Knowles on the left-hand side, Ruben Rodriguez in the middle, and either Enzio or Miller on the right, because I think both players can fill that slot, and I'm happy to see both players. I think Enzio has been great, and I think Miller, obviously, he's a great player. We want to see a bit more of him. He is on loan for a short period of time, so I think he will have been guaranteed game time, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him in there. But Enzio also, you know, fantastic player. Up top, on his own, Kyle Wharton, say no more really. I think Ini Effiong is going to start coming in when, you know, legs are getting more tired. You know, he's a great option to have, and he is a first team player, I believe, at this level. But I just can't see him doing it over Kyle Wharton for me. Maybe in one of those sort of winger roles if he wants to go out a little bit wider, but can't really see it. I think he's a preferred striker, and the three players that I have picked there, well, four if including the Enzio and Miller, I can't really see why you'd change that because they've been so great of late. So yeah, that is my selection. My prediction for the game is 2-0 Knots. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. We've been great at the back. You know, we've not really leaked in that many goals of recent. So yeah, 2-0. I hand to Tom for his prediction.
Prediction for the game, I can't see anything other than a Notts win. The way we're performing against Dagenham, and now that if you're a Kingsland fan watching this isn't just being derogatory towards your club. If you'd have seen your club perform how they did with 10 men and a midfielder and goal for 80 minutes, there's no way you'd see your side losing the next game, and that's exactly how I feel. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory here. I think this is the highest point Notts have been on all season. They are absolutely buzzing. Their players are hungry. They've had the big one postponed against Wrexham. We heard Abbott talking in one of the press conferences recently, I think it was after the Weymouth game, saying that every time a game's cancelled, the players are so frustrated. They're going to be raring to go. They're going to come out, and I think we're going to perform again. I think Ruben Rodriguez is going to get a couple in this game. I think we're just seeing the best of him. And I think Kyle Wharton's going to score because at the minute he's unstoppable and sits just one place in the top scorer list behind that top scorer Michael Cheat for Bromley. So a big 3-0 win coming. And as always, keep a lookout for our instant reaction and our player ratings after the game.